Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Triple Feature. This is Rapid Fire. I watched 24 first watch films in the month of June, and so we're going to fly through them real quick as I rank them for you, and then you can hear the truth. Let's go. Number 24 is Ghost to Mars, the John Carpenter film. It's absolutely terrible. There's no reason to watch this movie unless you just love Ice Cube and you love low-level special effects. At one part, there is absolutely a train that you know is absolutely just a toy train. There's no question about it. This movie sucks. Number 23 is Body Bags, also by John Carpenter, and it's like a Tales from the Crypt kind of thing going on, except for it's like the worst Tales Crypt episodes of all time. There's no reason to watch this. It is stupid. Number 22, Phantasm Ravanger. Again, we talked about this before. I actually like the series overall, but this is the worst of the whole series. It has a couple cool things, but really low special effects. Number 21, In the Heights. This movie has really, forgettable music. It's really long, 2 hours and 20 minutes. Who cares? I know a lot of people really like it, and that's great. I know it's the Latino moment. They can have the moment. Let them have the moment. Number 20, Castle Freak. Some good moments in this movie overall, but the whole thing looks like a really low-budget BBC TV show. I don't really get that at all, and it gets a little too boring, and there's a girl that's blonde that suddenly, she's blind, and then suddenly she's, like, sexualized. I don't know what it is. And it was number 19, Prince of Darkness, another John Carpenter film. Cool parts, especially the end, very good. What's happening in the science in this movie? It's not even trying to trick me. They're doing actual science. People are just typing in numbers. I don't even know what they're looking at. Give me some actual science if you're going to do this. There's really bad acting in this, too. So that's number 19. Number 18, Possession. I hear about this movie constantly. Constantly people love this movie. It's about basically a couple breaking up. And yes, there's some weird stuff in it, but mainly it's just two people arguing the whole time. I didn't quite get it. Well, mainly just kind of gave me anxiety, but I don't know. Number 17, The Similars. This movie is basically it's from Mexico, and it's like a really long Twilight Zone episode, which would have been great, about 45 minutes, but an hour and a half, it was too long for what I was giving, but still had some cool ideas. Number 16, Child's Play, the remake or the reboot. I'm not really quite sure what you would call it, but again, this is a really mixed bag, has some really cool ideas, some really funny parts, and it also has two friends that are not funny at all and just stupid, and some not great ideas, and some very missed moments. You have a whole room of people, and you can kill everybody, and you let most of them get away. That's dumb. Number 15, Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. This movie's not a bad movie, and it's probably weird where it's at right now because this movie's been stuck in my head since then. But from when the first time I saw it, this is where it landed, but I could see how it could absolutely get better. It's absolutely crazy at the ideas it has. I'm just not sure how entertaining it is overall, but I need to rewatch it. The same thing with the next one, number 14, The Return of the Living Dead. This is a huge fan for people like zombie films, horror fans in general. With first viewing, I did enjoy it. I'm not sure I really love the humor on the first part, and the movie seemed like at the end, they were like, I guess it seemed like it maybe was just getting going and now it ends. I don't really know, but it's also been stuck in my head, so it could actually go up in the link. Number 13, John Carpenter's Vampires. Again, a mixed bag of a film, but it's got some really cool stuff, dragging vampires out and they're setting on fire. It's really rad. And then other stuff where I'm like, does the vampire have to look like that the whole time? We could make him look cool. That's not really a thing. Number 12, Caveat. This is a horror film. I watched a lot of horror films. Caveat was a film that's very slow. I'm not sure the answer at the end really wrapped everything up the way it could, but it's a cool mood-setting film, and I think it's worth watching overall. Number 11, The Devil's Candy. This is another movie that I think maybe it's better than I thought it was, but I did enjoy it overall. But I think it definitely has some issues, and I think it could get going a little bit faster and be a little stronger in some of the stuff it did. But, whatever. Number 10, A Quiet Place Part 2. This just seemed like one half of the movie. But the one half I did enjoy. But where's the other second half of the movie? I don't know. Number 9, Assault on Precinct 13. This is the very first John Carpenter film. I didn't expect to like this movie as much as I did. I guess it's not the first one. Dark Star is the first one. This is his first real budget film. A bunch of people attacking a cop thing. It's cool. It's cool. It was entertaining the whole time. It shows its age at times, but overall it is good. Number 8, The Stuff. The Stuff. This movie has, at the beginning of this movie, just remember they find the stuff bubbling out of the ground. This guy walks up, puts his fingers in it, and he's like, that tastes good. We should sell that. That is how much this movie takes itself seriously. It doesn't at all. It's really a kind of funny horror film, and it's fun the whole time and B-rated, so it's worth watching. Number 7, The Thick-Walled Room. This movie is a Japanese film about World War II people that are actually did much war crimes, supposedly, and so they're on thing and them dealing with themselves. And, overall, it's a good movie. It missed some points to be able to wrap up some stuff on other people it set up, but it could have been an even better movie and maybe at the top 5. Number 6, Society. This is a movie that takes too long to get where it's going because we know where it's going, but when it does get there, it is insane. Now, that's not for everybody. You may get there and you go, this is ridiculous, but it is crazy. And the opening music when it's showing things is one of the creepiest things I've ever seen in my entire life. Number 5, Christine. This comes from a Stephen King book. This is directed by John Carpenter. I had to avoid this forever because I was like, killer car, why do I want to watch this? But really, it's a character study, and the movie is much better than I expected. It's really good. I think if the ending would have hit me a little bit harder, this would have probably been at the top of the list. But the ending didn't quite hit me where it should, so it ends up at number 5. Number 4, The Conjuring Part 2, The Devil Made Me Do It. Part 2, Conjuring 3. What is this? I wrote this down wrong. Who even cares? Conjuring 3. And The Devil Made Me like this. I did enjoy it. I think it's going to be underrated considered, even though I think it's probably the worst of the top 3. But people are giving like 2 out of 10, which is ridiculous. This movie's not a 2 out of 10. It's still a solid horror film. Number 3, Tammy and the T-Rex. This is from like, what, 1994? This is like a movie that just doesn't take itself serious at all, where a guy's brain gets put into an animatronic dinosaur and it goes around, starts murdering people. The movie knows it's a comedy and knows it's dumb, and it's fun from beginning to end. It's absolutely ridiculous. It needs to be watched. Number 2, The Blob. Now, this is the one from the 80s. It's not from the one way back in like the 50s. This one, again, really cool kills. Way better kills than you should have in any movie called The Blob. You would expect really stupid kills, but creepy kills. The movie, again, doesn't take itself too seriously, but it is very good. And number 1, the number 1 movie I watched the entire time was another horror film. It is called From Beyond. And I'm not even going to explain it, except for it has amazing practical effects. It is a little B-rated at times, that's for sure. But the movie is absolutely crazy. I enjoyed it beginning to end. I was never bored, and that's why I went at the top of the list, because I was like, holy crap, are they just showing that right now? That is insane. How did they even do that practical effects? That's pretty cool to me. We're out.